I want to tell you about the night I realized my house had a third bedroom. It didn't before. I'd lived there for 6 years. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, a kitchen that smelled like old wood no matter how many times I cleaned it. That was it. That was the whole house. It started with the cold. Not the kind that comes from a broken heater, the kind that settles. The kind that sits in the air like it belongs there. I was up late, maybe 2 a.m., when I noticed a door at the end of the hallway. I told myself I was tired. I told myself I'd just never paid attention to it. I told myself a lot of things. But I had never walked past a door in my own home without knowing what was behind it. I stood there for a long time, long enough that the silence started to feel like something breathing. Then I heard it, a sound from inside, soft, rhythmic. Someone was humming. I opened the door. The room was empty. No furniture, no windows, just 4 white walls and a bare bulb hanging from the ceiling, swinging slowly, like someone had just touched it. And on the floor, in the very center of the room, was a photograph of me, asleep, in my bed, from what looked like last night. I grabbed my keys and I left. I never went back. But here's the thing that still keeps me up at night. The photograph wasn't taken through a window. It was taken from inside the room, which means whoever put it there had been in the house before the door ever appeared. My dad called me the night he died. I didn't pick up. I was at dinner with friends, phone face down on the table, and by the time I checked it, there was already a missed call and a voicemail. I didn't listen to it that night. I figured I'd call him back in the morning. I never got the chance. The voicemail sat in my phone through the funeral, through the weeks after. I couldn't bring myself to open it. Couldn't bring myself to delete it either. It stayed there, unplayed, like a door I wasn't ready to walk through. 3 months later, I finally listened to it. It was quiet at first, just background noise, the low hum of his TV, the sound of him settling into his chair. Then his voice. "Hey, it's me. Just calling to check in. Call me back when you get a chance." That was it. Simple. Normal. Exactly the kind of message he'd leave 100 times before. I cried for about an hour. Then I went to bed. The next morning, I listened again. I don't know why. I just needed to hear his voice one more time. But this time, at the very end of the message, after the part I remembered, there was something else. A pause. A long one. And then, quieter than everything before it, like he was speaking just below a whisper. "Don't let it in." I checked the timestamp. The call came in at 11:47 p.m. The hospital said he passed at 11:52. He was still alive when he left that message, which means he had 5 minutes, and instead of calling for help, he called me. Whatever he saw in those last 5 minutes, he didn't want me to see it too. There's a grief support group that meets every Thursday night in the basement of St. Clement's Church on Harrow Road. I started going after my sister passed. 12 people sitting in a circle of folding chairs, paper cups of bad coffee, fluorescent lights that always flickered at least once per session. It was exactly as depressing as it sounds. But it helped. Genuinely. And the people there, they became something close to family. That's what made it so hard to notice. It was maybe my 8th or 9th session when I realized I didn't know how any of them had lost someone. Think about that. Weeks of meetings, weeks of sharing, and somehow, not once, had anyone in that room talked about who they'd lost. Just the feeling of it, the weight. The way grief sits behind your eyes when you're trying to act normal. I brought it up one night on my drive home to my friend who'd recommended the group in the first place. The line went quiet. Then she said,
"What group? I never told you about any group."
I pulled over. I sat there going through my memory, and I could not figure out how I'd first heard about that basement, that church, that Thursday night circle of strangers. I just knew about it, the way you know things in dreams. So I went back the following week to ask them directly. The basement was empty, chairs still in a circle, coffee still warm, but every single cup had already been used. I've never been back, but some Thursdays around 8 p.m., I get this pull, this feeling that I'm supposed to be somewhere. And I have to remind myself, grief support groups are for people who've lost someone, not for whatever it is on the other side. That's lost you. I got a text from my own number at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. I know how that sounds. Spoofed number, wrong digit, some glitch in the network. I told myself all of those things. But the message made every single explanation fall apart. It said, "Don't go to work tomorrow." Nothing else. Just those 5 words sitting there like any other text. I almost laughed. Then I checked the timestamp. The message was sent at 3:12 a.m. My phone said it was currently 3:11. The text arrived a full minute before it was sent. I called in sick the next day, told myself I was just humoring it, that I wasn't actually scared. That afternoon, a gas leak in the building where I work sent 11 people to the hospital. My office, my specific office, 4th floor, east side, took the worst of it. I didn't tell anyone about the text. Who would I even tell? Weeks passed. I almost convinced myself it was a coincidence. Almost. Then, last Thursday, another text. Same number. Mine. This one said, "I can't keep doing this." I typed back. I don't know why. I typed, "Doing what?" 3 dots appeared, like it was typing. They sat there for a long time. Then they stopped. No message came through. But my phone, fully charged when I picked it up, was at 1%. I don't know who's on the other end. I don't know what they're protecting me from. I don't know how many times they've already done it without me realizing. But I keep my phone charged now. Always. Because if it ever dies before the next message gets through, I don't want to find out what they were trying to stop.